My name is Michaela Vera, and this is my video reflection for cultural competence in the classroom. To me, cultural competence requires us as educators to really connect and bond with not only our students, but also with their families as well. This means coming to comprehend and really understand their background regarding their race, ethnicity, socioeconomic background, religion, cultural practices, and anything of that nature. And it's not inherently there for us to box them into our own implicit biases, but rather to accept them for who they are and their identity within that. In regards to my own cultural competency, if I'm truly honest with myself, I would say I would place myself at around a level 4, which is that pre-cultural competency, almost there to cultural competency, just because I feel that often it's difficult for me to navigate certain avenues when it comes to understanding another's culture. Rather, I just fear of making a certain assumption or maybe overstepping bounds with certain families without necessarily having that very strong connection quite established yet. And rather, in order to fix that, I think for myself, what I need to do is really deep dive and take into consideration what it really means to be within that culture and part of that culture, rather than just learn about it at a very surface level. And this also means being accepting of not only how students conduct themselves like within the classroom, but also how they operate within their families. For example, if I as a teacher create rather difficult assignments or multiple assignments that require a lot of individualistic work, but these students tend to learn better collaboratively due to their background or due to their learning styles at home, it would be more beneficial for me to adjust my curriculum for them rather than force them to do something that they're not completely comfortable with or used to doing. In regards to looking into more research, trainings, and readings, first and foremost, I would like to say that there is no just one training, reading, or research that will just fit all or that will completely solve cultural competency. I feel like social justice in itself and understanding cultural competency in the classroom is something that's constantly evolving and always changing. And so it's up to us as educators to always make sure that we are up to date on the latest policies and the latest ways that we can figure out how we can better ourselves. That being said, I think some resources that I would probably find beneficial would be the National Education Association, which gives different articles and even trainings for diversity and different types of inclusivity in the classroom and what that may look like. One specific reading that I was looking into is Why Diversity is Necessary for Books. And after just kind of reviewing that one a bit, I found it very interesting about the ratio of books that include different cultural and ethnic characters who play in the forefront and that deal with real world problems that are so reflected in today's society. Another resource that for my state that I can always use or that I can look to depend on would be the DOE for California, Department of Education, to really look into their standards and what they expect for each of their classrooms within this state for what it means to implement diversity, inclusivity in the classroom. Last but not least, the county that I actually live in offers very frequent inclusivity trainings and diversity trainings. For example, the preschool I currently work at, we are always being invited to different trainings for that, not only trainings for diversity and inclusivity, but also for different subjects. For example, emphasis is on STEAM, history, language arts, and all sorts of things like that. And so I feel by maintaining those types of trainings and professional development will help me in the future and as I continue my career as an educator. In my future classroom, I plan to promote inclusivity by creating a more accessible curriculum that is available for all my students, not only to be able to accomplish, but to be able to participate in, and also really taking that time to emphasize on historical happenings that occurred to different cultures and not really sugarcoat them, but rather show them for what they are and give the students the opportunity to really learn about how life was before we had major things occur like the Civil Rights Movement and other items like that. And in order to ensure that I'm being respectful to each student's respective beliefs, talents, interests, and so on, I think the main part as an educator is for us to not really implement our own ideals and beliefs and push that on them, but rather understand them for their beliefs and ideas and not to limit them, and rather allow them to express themselves freely in the classroom without impeding upon another student's ability to learn.